If you want to make a fast, easy, and cheap zombie costume, this video is for you. And without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is go to your local thrift store and grab some cheap clothes. This is $5, $4. You can't beat that. Now that you got your clothes, let's go. Next up, grab your weapons. Tools. Grab your tools. This can be anywhere from sharp scissors, a saw blade, a serrated knife, or a razor blade. It really doesn't matter. You could use a belt sander, you could use a wire brush, sandpaper. It's really however you can beat up the clothing as much as possible. Now that you have all your tools all ready to go and your assistant is all dressed up, we are ready to start ripping up this fabric. Now there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just a serrated knife and you can really just go to town on this fabric to make it really worn. Be careful not to cut yourself, obviously. But you really just want to give the entire piece of clothing a good once-over with this serrated knife. And this will make nice little detail holes and kind of rip the threads as it's going. It'll give this shirt a lot of nice texture. And you can even go in with your scissors and start kind of fraying away the edges like this. And once you cut them, it'll kind of look very chunky looking. And you can go back in with the scissors and make it more refined by just continuing to cut it. And if you had a low grit sandpaper, like 360 or 80 grit sandpaper, you can go back in, rub the sandpaper on it, and it'll really fray it really nicely. But that's all you're looking to do with this kind of effect, is just really rough up the surface, make it nice and holy. And yeah, obviously you're going to want to focus on the cuffs, even the neck where there gets a lot of wear, a lot of touching. When it comes to the pants, you're going to want to get down by the lower ankle section of the pants and the knees. Work on the elbows. And it really depends on how distressed you want the shirt and pants to look. But once you're happy with the distressed look, we'll go in with paint and give some color to the clothing. So, I've been going at this shirt for about 10 minutes or so, and as you can see, it's getting a lot more ripped up, a lot more distressed, and all I've been using is just this old serrated knife. I found the best way to use it is to either cut downward in one motion, or kind of scrape it across in a diagonal pattern. And I'll give you a very organic, natural looking of tears. It won't look as perpendicular. You want to get all different types of rips and tears. I did the sleeve a little bit over here. And the amount of distressing obviously will tell a story of how long this zombie has been a zombie. So once you get it ripped up how you like it, then that's when we're going to go in with some color and really add the depth and even tell the story that much more for the costume. So yeah. As you can tell, I've been doing some work on the pants down here using the good old saw blade. And pretty much all I've been doing is just running the blade down the pant leg, pretty much like you're cutting wood. And yeah, it's doing its thing. Pro tip, hold up here and work the saw down. Never put your hand where you're trying to saw, because you'll probably cut yourself, and that will not be good. We do not need you losing any fingers while trying to make a costume. that would be no bueno. So yeah, just keep going, and until you're happy with it, it'll come together eventually. All right. This is about an hour's worth of cutting. So I wasn't joking when I told you it's fast and easy. So I'll try to give you a 360 view here, spin my assistant around. Got some really, really great texturing with that saw blade cutting through the pants. And onto the back. I was using the serrated knife and basically just kept on cutting down and down until I was happy with the shredding effect there. And as we work our way up higher, obviously onto the shoulders, onto the cuffs here on the top, collar actually. These are the cuffs down here. Got those all shredded up nice. Down along the front, up in the pocket, got a nice little hole going on in here. Nice little detail. Got the collar nice and shredded up top. All the way down the sleeves. So you can kind of tell there's obviously more wear on the lower shirt, the bottom of the pants, up in the collar area. You kind of want to spend more time here and there on concentrated areas, but overall you want to hit the entire costume essentially, and you'll get that nice distressed effect. Now that we're happy with the texture and the distressing of all the cutting, now on to paint. And I got a plethora of colors here, so I don't really know what I'm going for, but I guess just browns, yellows, greens, any of those kind of natural, organic, gross colors. So let's see what we can find. We got yellows, greens, browns, reds, and black and gray to either lighten or darken our colors. And I think that's definitely enough for our options. So I got some colors mixed up over here. We got yellow ochre, like an oxide green. This is like a lighter brown, raw sienna, I guess. A darker brown or black. I got permablood, which is amazing stuff. It's like prop blood. Dries really nice and glossy. Then we got like a burgundy red, and that should do it for colors. So in terms of getting this thing painted, you have a couple options. If you have more time, you can use a coffee wash, which is basically just using like a black coffee and mixing it really, really dark. Boil it, get it really hot, and just dump it over the whole costume. Let it run down, and that'll just give it a really nice basic wash on like a different staining and coloring. But if you're running low on time, like I am, then you can just start throwing on the color washes from here. There's nothing crazy about doing it. You can literally just take your hand and start smearing color where you want it. You can flick it with your hands. You can use a bristle brush and spatter it. If you have an airbrush, great. If you want to get in some detail areas and use an airbrush. But we're just going to be really down and dirty with this painting application, and we're going to get right into it. All right, so we're going to be working from lightest to darkest, essentially. So I have the yellow here, and so we're going to just kind of dab it where you would get some body sweat going, like maybe around the neck a little bit, and the pits, maybe the chest a little bit too. And this yellow is a little too yellow, but I'm not really too worried about it because I'll go back in with some water and kind of wash it out a little bit, make it run down. But it'll just give it that much more color and depth, the more colors you use. That's going to be hard to do here, and of course I laid down a tarp as well, because obviously I'm inside. If you're outside, the painting process will be a lot easier because you won't have to worry about making a mess, of course. But I'm just very sporadically laying down that color. And then I'll come in with my water. And water is what's going to really help make everything kind of blend together. And then obviously you have your gloves. And you can kind of wipe the color down. And this will help disperse the color a little bit so it's not as opaque. And you can get away with making the mixture like more transparent by adding more water and less paint, obviously. As I was painting, of course, I lost battery, but as you can see, I added a little bit of green in there. So we got green, yellow, we got light brown and dark brown in here. Of course, the whole shirt is soaked right now, but... And then I have pretty much only dark brown on the pants. So most of the color is staying up on top. And then we'll dribble some blood on it, and then we'll call it good. And that's what I call a cheap, easy, and fast zombie costume. Not bad. Blood is on. And I think we're going to call that good. Just let it dry for the night, and I'll come back with a video tomorrow, what it looks like, all completed. And here it is, folks. Your zombie costume is finally done and put together in just about 2 hours of work. Not too shabby. I threw on some bloodied and gory boots to complete the look. Now you just need to make up your face or throw a mask on, and then your costume's good to go. So, what do you think? Here's one last final look at the costume in all its glory. This is the perma-blood that I use. It doesn't dry as glossy on fabric as it does a hard prop, but it still sells the effect pretty well. Come down to the pants here. The boots are a nice little touch. It's just spray paint and some more of that perma-blood. And then here's the back one last time. And that pretty much wraps up the video for today, guys. So if you have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.